right, now introducing, it's my pleasure to introduce two people, I see them both standing to my left, who will lead us through some e-voting. It's right here in Alameda County. San Mateo County Supervisor Rose Jacob Gibson is the immediate past president of ABAG, a member of the Joint Policy Committee and ABAG's Regional Planning Committee. My immediate predecessor, the great footsteps to follow that she laid out in front of me. And joining her is the most golden of the golden bears. The man with no car, the man who lives the life that all of us want to lead. That is the Berkeley Mayor, Tom Bates, who's also an MTC Commissioner, member of the Air Quality Management District, and a member of the BCDC. Their full bios, which would take you the rest of this week to read, are in your packet. I encourage you to read them at your leisure. And these, now this is really laying it on, these two extraordinary individuals who are both going to be seen as, you probably need to put your sunglasses on here for the radiance that's going to be coming off of them. They're each of their communities, they're considered as divine beings. And now, I will let Tom and Rose take over.
Thank you, Mark, I think. Can you hear me? Is this working? Great. We're gonna do the, roving in the audience kind of thing. So we really want to get your participation. We'll do this fairly quickly, but we're going to vote again. So use those little voting machines if you would. Research, of course, shows in the Bay Area that we're going to need a combination of strategies that relate to transportation and land use if we're really going to meet any greenhouse gas reductions in the coming months. So what we'd like to do is review with you guys and get your input on what you think are the range of strategies we ought to be undertaking. And what we know today, we just want to get some quantitative sense of what approaches you believe the Bay Area might want to emphasize over other strategies. So we're going to ask these questions, and then after the questions, we want you to vote. So you can vote right now. Rose, do you want to read the questions? But we will also give some opportunity for discussions, like what's not on there.
Very good introduction. Thank you, Mayor Bates. We have selected some broad categories of strategies for decreasing greenhouse gases. And under each category are a number of strategies or initiatives we could take. And for each question, we want you to rank the strategies by entering your selection on the keypad.
So go, don't hold back.
Well, after you select a number, then you have to and then you press send on the keypad, okay?
This is a very smart group. I think they can.
Well, I
don't know.
When I first got started, believe me, some of us wasn't quite sure, so it's just a double check.
Okay.
Okay, so now let's begin. The first question, which strategy would most readily improve vehicle efficiency? 1, provide incentives for plug-in hybrids, full electric vehicles, and other low greenhouse gas cars. 2, promote smart driving, such as proper tire inflation, avoid jackrabbit starts and stops, and remove items from the trunk. And number 3, buyback incentive vehicles, such as the cash for clunkers. And number 4, optimize freeway speeds, right, like ramp metering. Okay, so you can now start voting. You get 20 seconds. Your preference.
Okay, thank you. Do we have the results, Sam? What people think, the ranked results? Rank results, I guess number 1, and provide incentives. Is this the right, this is not the results, right? I'm sorry,
Okay.
it says results. I guess that's it.
I guess those are the results.
Okay.
So first was to provide the incentives. So what do you think about what you've ranked there? Why did you rank them that way? Anyone want to respond to
make
that?
any comments about this issue over here on the side of the room?
Okay, so
They must all be hungry.
I have one response over here. Why did you rank them that way?
Because I actually put number 4 as number 1 because it's the quickest way to relieve us of the greenhouse gases. lowers accidents on the freeway, which cause backups, and it's the least expensive method.
You know, I really like number one. I'm glad people chose number one because, you know, until we get people out of their cars or into some other form of transportation, and them switching necessarily to public transportation, when we only have 10% now, obviously we want to raise those percentages way up, but still, the vast majority of people are going to use their car. We got to figure out ways to get cleaner, better cars. There's just no doubt about it in my mind.
Okay, so how about one more comment from you have over here? Did you want?
Yeah, I would agree. You have to take into consideration the things that you can control, and we can't control people's gas pedal. We can't control whether they're going to take things out of the trunk, and the buyback is going to cost us a lot of money. So if you can replace the vehicles, you've replaced the problem.
Okay, moving right along, the next category of special interests, to me personally.
Well, I was just going to ask one other. Are there some other strategies that somebody might have before we move on?
These people are hungry, I can tell. Mean, hungry look on the side of the table. Wait a minute,
Okay.
we got
See,
some
there's some
people
back
want to
there.
talk. Who wanted to talk? I'm sorry.
I just wanted to say, I'm not sure we all
You
understood.
got a microphone, good, go.
I'm not sure we all understood we could vote for all four, and that we should vote for all four and rank them. Did everybody understand that?
Yeah, we just one out of four, yeah. You're supposed to choose
Well,
one of the
to
four.
vote for four and rank them, or were we just supposed to vote for one?
Your preference.
Okay.
Is there any other comments? Okay, let's go to the next question. I'll read the question and maybe Rose can read the various choices. What strategy would most be readily shift automobile trips to transit, biking, walking, carpooling, and telecommuting? Which one would you say? Rose, do you want to read the question? or want me?
Expand and improve transit services, number one. Number two, support safe routes to school and safe routes to transit. Number three, support employer transportation demand programs, ride sharing, van pooling, telecommuting, flexible hours, shuttles. And number four, require transit incentive programs, such as parking cash back and transit subsidies. So those are the those are the choices. You get one.
Those are
Oh,
not the...
I'm sorry, you get four. I guess you get to rank them in your
Yeah,
still
rank them.
preference. So now, begin, you have 20 seconds.
So we're just asking you to name one of the things and we'll... yeah.
No,
we can
no,
do
no,
more?
no,
Okay.
no.
Oh,
It's
my
your
goodness.
preference ranking one
Okay,
through
I'm
four.
sorry. I take it all back. I'm sorry. I didn't get briefed. I didn't go to the meeting.
All right. I think we got it all right now. We're okay.
Okay.
Okay, so 20 seconds.
Okay, everybody voted?
All done?
So I guess we go to expand and improve public transportation, which certainly makes sense. Require transit incentive program, that's what I would have put for second. Support employer transportation demand, which I certainly concur with. And lastly, support safe routes to school and safe routes to transit. Anybody want to make some comments about that? Sure, sir.
Okay. We're going to start on that side, then we'll come over here.
Hi, my name is Curtis Wright. I'm a council member down south, BAAG. I definitely did not put number one. And the reason I didn't do number one is because in Santa Clara County, we have the least usage of our transit services of anywhere in the country that has them, even though we're pretty good. And somebody said you can't force people to do things. You can't force them to ride on transit, even if you put it together. I'm on the advisory board for VTA.
Okay, any other comments here on the side? One more over here, Rose, and then you have some on your side?
I think that the region needs to consider again whether we would have a region-wide TDM ordinance that's required for employers so that you can bring employers on board and make workplaces more conducive to using alternative forms of transportation.
All
So
right.
I'm Hayward Robinson, City Council Member Menlo Park. I respond to the first comment. I think it's a chicken and egg issue. If we don't have good transit options that are very fast and direct and convenient with quick headways, we can't expect people to ride transit. Right now, we don't have a real network of transit options at work, and so until we develop that, we're not going to get significant numbers of people out of their cars and into transit.
Okay, we have a couple on this side now.
Hello. I'm Carlos Castellanos.
Okay.
with the
Well, while we're going to them, I gave up my car, I sold my car, so I'm now using public transportation. Yes. Way over there, okay.
Hello. I'm Carlos Castellanos. I'm with the East Bay Asian Local Development Corporation. I'm also a Policy Advisory Council member for the MTC. And I just want to make a pitch for the last ranked one, the supporting the safe routes to school and the safe routes to transit. I feel that what we're seeing, not only from the trying to get people out of individual car riding trips, but you have a lot of children now who are being driven to school, causing congestion, and also it's leading to health issues amongst our younger generation, that we're seeing the obesity, and these are kids that, I remember my generation, which wasn't too long ago, but we used to walk to school, and now there is a very definite feeling of safety, that there's a lack of safety walking children or taking children, letting them walk to school. And same thing with routes to transit too. That you have, it's either the quality of the pavement, or it's actually just unsafe from the conditions in the neighborhood to get to transit and wait for the transit that comes maybe every 30 minutes or so. So I think that we should look at that aspect of it too.
My name is Joachim Ostus. I'm a transportation engineer, and I grew up in Sweden, and I think I have a little bit different view on transportation than a lot of people that grew up in the U.S. have. For example, I didn't even have a driver's license until I came to this country. And I think the one strategy that would be the most efficient is not even on the board there, and it would be it goes together with the land use planning, and it is to shrink the distances that people travel in their everyday life. If you have to commute 40 miles to get to work, transit is not going to be as good of an option as it is if we all live closer to all the places that we have to go each day.
Thank you. Okay, I have
My
one
name-
back here before we go over.
My name is Chris Peoples. I'm an elected director of the Alameda Contra Costa Transit District, and like Tom, I'm car-free, except I've been car-free for 11 years, and for most of that time worked in San Jose and lived in Oakland, so that makes it difficult. What helps a lot is what everybody here has said. My neighborhood was built in the 19-teens and 20s. It was built around the assumption that there were streetcars, and it was built around the assumption that everybody walked to work and walked to shopping, and it's quite doable. But there's lots of modern land use where it's not. The other issue is we have a governor who's declared war on public transit. So we've already cut our service by 8%. We're about to cut it another 8%. And without funding, it's simply not possible to do.
Okay. Rose, do you have anybody else on your side? Yeah, okay.
I'm John Holtzclaw, Sierra Club, and there is no such, I agree with what the previous speakers have been talking about. There is no such thing as free parking. Parking costs money to provide, to the construction, the cleaning, the policing, and everything like that. And if you have free parking, if you offer the parking lot, the parking place free, then that means that that the cost of providing that is included in the services and the goods that you buy, and that raises the cost for everyone, which means the low income are subsidizing the wealthy. And so one of the strategies that would be very effective would be to charge the full cost of providing the parking for all parking in the region.
So I might mention in Berkeley, we are in the process of redoing our downtown plan. And in that process of doing the downtown plan, we're going to require any new development, be it office buildings or be it residential, either condos or rental, for each of those units to be provided a transit pass. So they're going to have a pass for AC Transit. They may not use it, but it's going to be a requirement, and they're going to have to provide it not just for a year, but in perpetuities. So this is a strategy. Plus, we're saying that developers, when they build those structures, we're going to allow them to buy out of the parking. They can buy out, so that rather than spend $30,000 to put in a garage space, a space for a car, they can pay us like 20 and not have to do it, or maybe 15. We have to figure that out. So we're trying to emphasize, making it opportunities available to people so that they'll have that pass, the bus pass, if they want to use it. And we have had some examples. I guess MTC did a study, and there are people here who indicated that when they gave people free bus passes, they actually used them.
Yes, John Addison, I published Clean Fleet Report, reinforced several of these ideas. Right now, when cities are cash-strapped, employers can be very effective if we negotiate deals where they buy discounted transit for all their employees. They also can bring in organizations like 511 to facilitate meetings to really promote a lot of ride sharing. Ride sharing can now be combined with car sharing. And finally, employers can help us with gridlock by actively promoting flex work. So I think we have an opportunity to leverage the major employers with these programs.
Thank you. I think it's time to move on to our next one now. We have a couple of more questions for you to participate in. A priority development area by definition includes affordable housing and good access to public transit. What other factors makes for a successful priority development area in your city? So we have the question, which characteristics of priority development areas would make for a successful PDA in your city? And you were to rank them.
Number one, engage the neighborhood and development process. Number two, well-designed buildings and streets and plazas. Number three, urban amenities such as parks, cafes, shops, and other cultural events. And four, access to good schools.
Okay, you have 20 seconds.
Could be all of the above, right?
Of all the above, you rank them by preference. And this is the last question.
Okay, do you want to read the results, Rose?
Okay, looks like number one is engage in neighborhood and development process. Very good. Number two, well-designed.
Oh, no, that's wrong. Well-designed buildings is first, streets and plaza.
It's listed in the order it was done. Okay. So I guess that would be good. Okay. Number two is the engage the neighborhoods in the development process. And the third ranking was their urban amenities such as parks, cafes, shops, and or cultural events, and access to good schools. So anyone want to comment on?
It seems like, I appreciate having this question, but, all of those things are important. All of those things need to happen, not just one or two, because if you don't have good schools, the middle class and people who live are not going to be in the community, period. And if you don't have parks and you don't have cafes and you don't have shop and safe neighborhoods, nobody's going to want to live there either. Mm-hmm. And you better figure out the neighborhoods better be involved in the process. And for God's sake, we've got to have good design, because if people see crap, then they're going to, it's all going to go downhill.
I totally agree with you.
You guys, here's a commenter. Good.
I agree. We're going to have several comments, and then we're going to be ending. So we have one in the back here.
Yes. Oh, okay. The one about schools, the question about schools, I don't think was fair, because people who don't have kids want these kinds of amenities. But I think with younger people who have small children, schools are always an important part of their decisions about where to live, if they can afford to live any place anymore.
Okay. Particularly number one, which is number two up here, we're in the middle of a specific plan. I'm the mayor of Menlo Park, Rich Klein, and well-known NIMBY community. I say that affectionately of my own community. And if we don't engage that neighborhood, the other three are irrelevant. It won't happen. It'll never get passed. We have spent 2.5 years engaging on the specific plan. We actually had the first half of it was only engagement and no decisions. And the council still hasn't weighed in yet. The specific plan is now binded. It goes out to commission. We still haven't had a chance to weigh in because it's still a community process, and we still don't know if it's going to pass with that much community engagement. So I would reinforce that it may not be aligned with the other in terms of the values of what you want out of a plan, but that engagement should probably be encompassing the whole thing like a wrapper.
Okay. Over here.
Of course, they're all important. One of the things I haven't seen.
Mic is not on. Mr. President? Yeah, he's on. It was on. Okay.
All of these are important. One of the things that I haven't seen listed is we've talked about access to good schools and safe route to schools. We do travel training for the elderly in San Mateo County. Why do we do that? Because they can't drive anymore. We can't afford to continue to run ready wheels with the expanding population. And therefore, we have to train them how to use transit because they've never used it. What about a unit in the schools on how to use transit? I couldn't leave my house and go anywhere. When I was a kid, we didn't have a car without learning how to do transit. One of the things you learn with transit is there's no way that transit will replace the convenience of a car. We couldn't afford it. We couldn't afford the decimation of housing and land use to put in that much transit. Everybody can't have a transit stop in front of their house, but there are other health effects to that. And if you start with children, we might make a difference, and it's going to be a long process because, especially in California, people don't understand transit. I work with a guy on the Board of Barbering and Cosmetology that's worth multiple $1 million. I won't even give how much that he is worth. I know, but I won't give it away tonight. It would embarrass me to say I know somebody that's worth that much. but I taught him how to use transit in LA meetings, and now he is angry at me if I want to drive. I mean, but people have to learn. He loves to take transit, and he doesn't have to take transit anywhere.
That's a good point. Are there ideas that don't have that might be expressed?
Hi, Aegon Turplin with SPUR, a think tank in San Francisco, and also a member of the MTC Policy Advisory Council. I'm kind of building on this, but also from the prior question, I think one of the other areas to include here, in addition to all that we've been saying, is thinking about the destination end. We've got to have things close to the transit stops that we want to go to, and I would venture that a large percentage of people in this room today arrived on BART because we're a block from BART. So I think one of the ideas to make the priority development areas work, but also to shift us out of our cars generally, is making sure at the other end we have a job, we have a school, we have a hospital, we have a retail or an entertainment destination, and that really has to be a part of the equation. So to make the priority development areas work, we have to have something to go to at the other end. That's really a regional question, but every local community should do it. Thanks.
And I just want to, as we end, I want to just mention walking. I got a pedometer 2.5 years ago, and I've been walking every day 10,000 steps for 2.5 years. And you know, I've lost 10 pounds, and I just had a physical, and I'm in great shape. There's this thing where you can go through and rank your real age, and it turned out I was at least 12 to 15 years younger, so I'm
Let's
ready
give
to
him a
make
big round of applause for that one. Okay, I'll now give each other a big round of applause. Thank you very, very much for your participation in it. It's been great fun. I hope you've enjoyed it and learned a little something. And this is the end of this session, so thank you again very, very much.
All right, thank you, Rose. Thank you, Tom. Yeah, Tom, you were chosen for this so you could add to your 10,000 miles today. And I'm glad that minus 12 years, you're down to, what, 103 now? That's pretty good. Great job, Tom.